it's something that takes time. You know, you can't force people to follow you, let alone leadership. To me, is less of being served and more of one who has an extra responsibility to serve. And so with that mindset, I went into it wanting to be humble and just ultimately earn the trust in a respective way through working out with them, through spending time with them in the locker room. I didn't want to come in and seem like a confident, cocky person that was just overbearing and believed that I was everything to this team. And so as it's taken time to develop into that individual, I've just been blessed to be able to be received and accepted by such great individuals, and that makes it easy to be more of myself and to be more of a leader.
What's the difference in Jay Hill's defense versus maybe what Morgan Scalley was running at Utah?
I think Coach Scalley can sometimes be a little more aggressive, and I think that he reaps a lot of beneficial seeds from that. And I think Coach Hill can sometimes be a little bit more maybe reserved or conservative sometimes, and I think there's benefits to that. I would have to compare them more side by side. I've just participated in both of them, but I think they were both amazing coaches.
What do you view your role in this defense? These guys did a great job last year. This excellent defense, had a lot of production. How would you evaluate what the defense is this year and your role in it?
I think my role is that of someone to just remind them of their capacity. You know, they're constantly reminded of going 11-2. For me, I remember a 5-7 season, and that's difficult to come from. But it was a truly humbling experience, and it's a blessing to be able to show them that they had the capacity, but that they still fell short. But that there's still the opportunity going into this year. It's not a heavy focus on what happened last year, and now it's how much can I help them to remind them that they can do even more this year. That now let's create a baseline of 11-2, and let's only build from there.
BYU's putting together quite a recruiting class right now. I'm curious what role the current players like both you guys have in kind of telling these recruits about what's going on at BYU to help with this recruiting class.
I think we strive to just be around the players as often as we can that are coming through. I think BYU prioritizes not just the communications of players with the coaches that are coming in, but also players with players, and the aspect of finding the right fit. I think our coaches do a good job of understanding who the recruit is, and then they understand their own players to be able to pair them up with who would fit that demeanor, that style of hanging out and having fun when the person is on campus. And I think BYU is doing that very well, and we're blessed to be able to try and recruit the next generation of Cougars.
What's kind of the feel in the locker room when the perception out there is that BYU is just dropping bags, NIL, and what's kind of the conversation in the locker room among players about that narrative that's out there?
I think the communication is, there's a lot of noise, you know, and we have to do our best to silence the noise, but to make our bond off of something greater than anything materialistic. And so that's something that we've prided ourselves on and we prioritize. We don't shun away communications about things of worth, because we still need to talk about those things and educate the younger guys who have joined the team. But it's something that there's a lot of false media that sometimes pops out there, and we just try to stay true to what we know to be true and be real with our guys who are in our locker room.
Yeah, I already know it's going to feel like a home.
Talk to me, Keanu, about those guys that are seated at the table to your right. I guess I had to turn around there for a quick second, but it feels like your linebacker room is, I mean, I've been saying for a couple weeks, it might be one of the deepest that BYU's had in a long time.
Yeah.
Just what do you make of those guys, Jack and Zay, and go down to the Kafusis and all the depth-wise, all of them?
We have a great, first and foremost, unified linebacker group. Individuals who are competing with each other, but individuals who are pushing each other to be better. They're competing in a healthy way that's allowing each of them to reach a greater peak performance. And it really does start with those two. Jack is an amazing leader. He's not an extremely vocal leader, but he leads by example in a way that is very nourishing to the younger guys and is very edifying to us older guys who are able to see his work ethic. Isaiah brings a lot of energy, and he's definitely an athletic freak. And so the blessing of seeing him perform in the way that he does, it's nice to feel comfortable on the line when you know you have someone like that backing you up. So both great leaders in my opinion, and both great individuals and both great players.
LJ, would you say you're taking on more of a leadership role in this program now in year 3?
Yeah, I would say it's definitely more of a role than I had last year, you know, just with a lot of the guys graduating from when I was a freshman. It just, kind of pushed me into that role, and it's something I've embraced, kind of just trying to be an example for the younger guys and just trying to connect the older guys and the younger guys. Just still being a younger guy, being a younger guy in the program and only being 20 compared to the other guys. It's just kind of like, I feel like I'm kind of that pillar for connect between the two and kind of help the younger guys out and just relate to the older guys.
Do you feel like you've kind of found your voice a little bit more with the program, and is it thinking that you're setting the tone by your voice, or is it more leading by your actions on the field?
I feel like it's more leading by action, just because I'm a firm believer in just you can't ask someone else to do something that you're not doing. So it's just trying to do the simple things, the small things, and then I could go use my voice a little bit more. But it starts up on the field, and because if they don't respect you on the field, they're for sure not going to respect you off, probably. So anything, I feel like it just, no matter what, Coach Kalani sets the standard, and everyone is up to that standard, and if everyone's up to it, nothing should change, right? So as long as everyone's up to that standard, playing to that standard, I mean, defense is going to play lights out. Then on offense, we're going to do our thing. So no matter who's back there or what we got back there, if the O-line's doing their job, running backs doing their job, receivers, tight ends, it shouldn't change anything depending on who's the quarterback or whatever.
You got a lot of new bodies on the offensive line. How do you feel about that group right now?
I mean, it's really not that many bodies. Jada, he stepped in at tackle at the end of last year, made a crucial block at the Utah game to get us in field goal position. And then our three interior guys, they played last year, so they're returning. And it's really just Andrew Gentry, and he played at Michigan. And if you know anything about their O-line, they're usually pretty solid. So I feel pretty confident about those guys.
If that all comes together, what's your confidence in what this offense can accomplish this year?
I feel like we can be really great, and just going against the defense every day, we're only going to get better. So I'm really excited about what we can be.
LJ, last year there wasn't a lot of optimism around what BYU could do. You guys obviously proved those people wrong. How do you change the mentality this year, knowing that you're going to have people that believe in you a little bit more than last year?
What we talk about is it's always noise, just coming from the outside, and no matter what the outcome was last year, we're going to come back and work just as hard. So no matter what the results are, it's always just about the process. So just coming back every day, just working as hard as we can and doing whatever we can to get better. It doesn't matter if we're 1-11 or 12-0 or whatever it is. No matter what, we got to come back the next week and give it our all, or else we're going to get beat.
You were a big part of the breakout season last year, kind of elevated your game in a big way. It culminated in that Alamo Bowl that Keanu was talking about a little bit. But do you feel like there's another level to your game specifically you can still kind of take it up to?
Yeah, I would say so. Just being hurt most of last year, I never really had a true off season of college football because I came in as a freshman. I didn't come in I didn't graduate early, so I didn't come in before the winter semester. And then last year I was hurt throughout the off season, got hurt during the season. So I feel like just having a full off season to fine tune some things, just get better. I feel like I'll be able to kind of step my game up another level.
Is that kind of the biggest change in sort of what you're looking forward to this year? Is not only having that off-season time, but also maybe figuring out sort of how to stay healthy and just sort of acclimatize to the physicality of the league and college football in general?
I would say it's really mostly due to the physicality. It's just some things are just unfortunate, so it just happens. It's football, you're out there running, so things are going to happen, but it just is what it is, and just going out there playing, just competing and taking advantage of every opportunity. Because last year, I had to sit out 4 games. That kind of opened my eyes just to see it's really a blessing just to be able to be out there and play.
Was that bowl win especially meaningful because both teams, nobody really sat out the game. Everybody kind of gave it their all. Did that give a nice boost to the team in the offseason?
Yeah, it was nice. It was cool. It was just kind of, I would say, it just helped us reassure ourselves because just having Travis Hunter out there, second overall pick, Shador, he was possibly top 3 at the time, so having those guys out there playing with us, it just reassured us that we were in the right space. We were able to play with the top guys, so that kind of just reassured us and just made sure we just knew what we were doing and just showed us kind of that we're doing the right thing and continue to get better.
What's your opinion of the honor code since it's been in the news?
My opinion of the honor code is if you're a Christian and you believe in Christian beliefs, that's pretty much what the honor code has. So it doesn't matter to me. Not me being a non-member of the church, it really didn't matter to me because if I'm living what Christ wants us to do, it's part of the honor code, so it really doesn't matter.
What have you been told about quarterback Jake? Is he on the team? Are you guys know?
he hasn't said nothing, so I'm just gonna leave it up to him.
Assuming there is a quarterback change that's happening kind of late in the process, is there not any concern about how disruptive that can be for an offense with that?
No, just because it's 10 other guys also out there too, and you know, it takes 10 other guys. So as long as we're doing our job, it should be able to make whoever's back there jobs easier. So it really shouldn't matter.
What's your level of confidence with the other guys in that QB room? You know, you've gotten to know McKay and Trayson pretty well, and Bear's a little bit newer, I guess, but I don't know if you've kind of gotten to meet him or get to know him at all. But how do you feel about those guys?
Yeah, I've seen them play every day in practice, and they do great. So I'm not really worried at all. I have full belief in those guys that they're going to go out there, get the job done, and do what we need to do.
Are they set pretty well to kind of the system? Because they seem like, I'm thinking of McKay mostly, but I guess Trayson to an extent, they seem pretty similar to kind of how you guys want to play and the system and all of that. Is that right?
Yeah, our coaches do a great job of recruiting, and you know, everyone's here for a reason. Is if they didn't fit it, they probably wouldn't be here. So I trust the coaches and what they have. So whoever they have playing quarterback back there, I feel like with their judgment, we'll be fine.